So I said I would do a face reveal at 50,000 subs, and well, look at the number. And yeah, I mean, I crossed 50K like a year ago, got to 54,000, and then lost about 5,000 subs, and then recrossed back over 50,000. Couple times, actually. Yeah, thanks Wizards for ruining magic, but last time I showed my face in the last 50K sub video, I thought it'd be fun to ask people what they thought I looked like. And you guys came up with, like, a burly mountain man lumberjack with brown hair. Brown hair? How dare you? Hey, look, Into the AM. They sponsored this video and insisted that I show my face in it because then I could show off some of these nice shirts. Now, the funny thing is, last time I was chopping wood, I was actually wearing this exact shirt because, you know, it's wood chopping colors and it's the most comfortable breezy shirt I own. And they're running a crazy sale right now. Go check them out, link in the description. Ooh, check this baby out. They really do have a shirt for every accessory. Look at that. Matchy-matchy. I love it. They're rocking some cool new designs. They fit big chunguses like me. They go up even bigger than these. And the colors and the fit and the design, they make it really easy to hide a gun. Oh yeah, baby. Well, I guess at some point I should probably actually talk about the title of the video. But while you're hearing this terrible story, please go check out the sponsor of the video, Into the AM. They got some nice apparel and their Black Friday sale is insane. Hey, thanks for the intro version of me that got 3 hours of sleep because it was up horribly sick the last night. And yet I still look good in those shirts. And you know what? I looked even better in high school, so let's just start with my wonderful dating history then. Why am I making this video? Look at the view count. That's why I'm making this video. Your boy needs them sponsor dollars. Plus, people have asked, actually. I don't know why you guys care. But first, let's solve a little bit of a controversy from the previous 50K video. I did that funny, jump cut where I actually just, left, got a haircut, came back the next day, shaved, and, it started World War III in the comment section. Which one do you like? Homeless Des or shaved Des? Leave a comment. We're going to settle this. I guess we could go chronological. The first girl that I heard really liked me. Her friend had tipped me off and they said that they were supposed to deliver a note to me. And I'm like, oh, that's really cliche, but okay, flattering. But then I found out who it was and I'm like, ooh, she's really weird. She has a really weird hairstyle. I don't know. Sending a note anonymously and thinking that's normal, that sounds like something she would do. But still very flattering, right up until I found out that the note was supposed to be delivered to the other person at my high school with a very similar name to me. But not gonna lie, dodged a bullet on that one because she got even weirder as the years went on. So that was pretty early on, but the next girl who actually really liked me, and you're wondering, wait, why don't you go after the girls? Every single girl I found attractive already had a boyfriend. And I was trying to get in the loop, hey, if they break up, let me know. But, I'm sure this is hard to believe, but I was super, geeky and awkward and even weirder than now in high school. I know. Shocking. So all my friends, male or female, that I hung out with were, kind of geeky, quirky, the type of people you see at, a comic convention or an anime convention, but, not even that far, just, chill people who just geeking out and being weird, like Magic the Gathering people. Hey. So this ex-girl, she was kind of like that. She was half geeky, nerdy, quirky, and kind of geeky hobbies a little bit, and half I live in the woods, rural, tough country girl, which, all right. And, from an attractive level, I was like, she's all right. I mean, she's not a model, who the heck is in real life. But I was 16, I was like, whatever. So, first date. We decided to go to the movies. Very easy first date. Oh, wait, let's back it up a little bit. We were just regular friends for about a year and a half. And then she decided to let me know that she liked me. But, through one of her friends. I'll never understand how teenage girls' brains work. So that made it weird, but I was just like, yeah, let's go with it. I'm chill with it. And she's like, oh, I should have said something a year and a half ago. I'm like, yeah. I was a little irked over that. So, first date, I thought I knew where the theater was. It turns out I didn't. And GPS wasn't big back then. You had to be kind of rich to afford one, and neither of us were. So it was across town, and I thought I could cut through a certain way. So anyway, long story short, I was 22 minutes late for the movie. She was not thrilled, but whatever. We mostly just missed the previews, Probably saved me from having to awkwardly show off my many riches that she knew for a fact I didn't have by buying, $10,000 popcorn. So that was disaster number one. But, we hung out and we played airsoft with my friends and she was just into that. She's like, oh, I've fired railguns before. And I'm like, dang, didn't think it could get any more attractive. And she could handle that shotgun. She was getting shots, man. Glad she was on my team. Dang, I better never make her mad. So movies that I was late to, just kind of hanging, some school events. Oh, her friend who had moved away in the first year of high school came over for like a visit from like, I don't know, a couple hours away. And so we hung out and then we played the Friends board game and I teamed up with her little brother. And we ended up winning, and we all four of us got along famously. And she was like, oh, hey, this guy seems nice. So nearing the end of the year, there was some kind of event at school. Maybe it was like a Christmas thing. I don't know. We were there, and it was like we were getting out earlier. There was some kind of like thing in the gym, or I don't remember what it was. I think it was the day before Christmas break or something. And everybody was happy, in a good mood, and we saw each other in the hallway. Oh, it must have been Christmas because we got each other really nice gifts, actually, and exchanged it in the hallway. And then she decided to lean in for a kiss. I decided to get distracted by something down the hall. And she was like, well, okay, I'll go for his cheek. And then I kind of turned back and, got her pretty good in the nose. Just train wreck of a collision. Wasn't bleeding, but like, yeah, we didn't kiss after that. She's like, oh, yeah, it kind of hit me in the nose. I didn't immediately think, I was like, oh, well, why are you so close to me? I'm like, what was that? That was weird. Literally, like 15 seconds later, I was like, oh, she was leaning in for a kiss. Oh, I'm an idiot. Guys, the stories get worse from here. That was the most normal relationship I had. So I just couldn't get over the fact that it was too weird that we were like really good, close friends for like almost 2 years, and then all of a sudden started dating. And I've actually heard that from kids who went to like small private schools. They said like nobody dates each other. Like the proms are super just whatever party, and nobody like goes together unless they're from another school, because we went to school since these people were like 6 years old. Like I feel like they're my siblings. Like, you can't date someone if you knew them when they were like a weird 9-year-old, like and all the dumb stuff, embarrassing stuff they did. You just can't make that work. And we were like hanging out outside of school just like regular. She'd like come over with the rest of my friends and like play Halo and stuff. And it just like, it was going back and forth between like just hanging with friends and like romantic and not. And just, we knew it was kind of breaking apart. We didn't like say, okay, well, it's off. We just kind of went back to friends and didn't really acknowledge it. And then we didn't stay in much contact after we graduated, honestly. Just kind of fell apart, went back to friends. So, And then I posted something very conservative on Facebook. She turned into a psychopath after she moved to the coast and went to some liberal arts college. And then she blocked me. So I guess that's how that ended years later. But let's go back to, I want to say, was it after this or before it? I'm not actually sure. I know it was senior year because I was a senior. But whatever it was, there was this girl that I sat next to. We got along, and she was like kind of weirdish. Her parents were like kind of weird, just like hyper conservative, But like obviously that's not a problem for me. And she wasn't like traditionally attractive. She was bigger and, didn't care about fashion, but like whatever. Like we got along. We just like were like friends, And I was starting to like look forward to seeing her every day in class because we would just like laugh and she just thought I was just the best. And I think she kind of made like a half like, hey, we'd get along great. We should date. Ha ha ha. Joking. Where I could tell like she wasn't joking. It was, what do you call that? Like I don't know what you call it, but that was like days before she said, hey, I got to walk to work. I got to get out of here quick. Maybe the teacher will let me leave early. And I'm like, hey, I got a car. Where are you working? In town, obviously. And she's like, oh, it's down at the McDonald's. I'm like, oh, based, getting money. Hard-working, down-to-earth, conservative girl that thinks I'm funny. Come on. Honestly, like, there are different types of attraction. There's physical, and then there's just, like, we could get married and be famously perfect together, and, like, I was into it. So, we walked out together, and it already felt like a date. It was already awkward, because we had never hung out outside of school. And she got in my car, buckled up, and I was like, where is it? And I was already being awkward as hell. I don't know why. I heard a study that when you're around a girl you're attracted to, they have actually measured like an 18-point IQ drop in brain functionality. So when guys say my brain switches off when I'm around a girl that I like, what the heck is wrong with me? It's like actually a thing. And I was pretty dang smart, but socially, So you start taking points off of that, boy. The conversation was odd. And so I was alright distracted, like, oh my gosh, girl in my car. Ooh, I like her. Oh, she's saying cool things about how nice I am. Well, better start driving. It's in the wrong gear. Put it forward, hit the parking block. She wasn't buckled up, and I didn't realize that because I was like, we just gotta start driving or I'm gonna say even more awkward crap. Yeah, her head hit the dash. Yeah. She kind of laughed it off. I was like, whoa, sorry, wrong gear. She's just like, yeah, take it. Careful. I want to get to work in one piece. And then I missed her work. Like, I didn't want to say I didn't know where McDonald's was because, like, back then, Super Size Me was, like, blowing up, dude. Ain't nobody at the McDonald's, and honestly, even she refused to eat there, even though she worked there. So I made, like, 3 bad turns after, not really injuring her. It was, it was just a little, whoa, hit the dash. Bounce right back. It wasn't too bad. Didn't damage the car or nothing, Actually, come to think of it, that probably is what broke one of my calipers. But anyway, got her there almost on time. Boss didn't say nothing, I guess. And then I decided after that display, maybe I shouldn't ask her out on a date. And then also it was kind of weird because she was on her 5th year. I believe back in the day we called them super seniors because she had failed out. I think it was like home life drama. It wasn't that she wasn't that smart, because she pretty much was. But yeah, not much came of that. I mean, like, the year ended, the class ended, and is what it was. And she graduated, so good for her. So fast forward to me just focusing on my career, working a crappy job that was like an hour away, look good on my resume, and I went to college too. I actually went to college during high school, so that's why it was kind of weird. Like, senior year was weird because I was barely even there for like the second half of the year because I was taking a bunch of college courses. So I did, I guess, 2.5 years of college, got 2 degrees. And, I mean, I went for IT, so there was like a grand total of like 1 girl in my class. I guess if you count the 55-year-old lady that was pretty cool, that was getting retrained for her work. I wasn't about to ask her out, but like I'd hang with her. She was cool, you know. But yeah, total sausage party, and the couple like electives, the girls were really, really annoying. Just super cliquey, and like I never mentally got out of high school, and you know, bleached blonde hair and too much makeup, and just I don't find any of that attractive. So a whole lot of nothing through college, except I think was it during college, during the summer, or right when I got a job, around that time. I found out that this place I volunteered at, where my mom also worked at, one of the girls there really liked me. I stopped in once to help them actually fix some computer stuff. And I didn't know by name which one she was. I mean, a whole bunch of people were there when I was fixing them and upgrading stuff and giving them some free upgrades and stuff because it was like kind of a nonprofit. And so she said, one of the girls in there, like, she came up to me and said, wow, your son is like really cool, you know, like, is he single? And it was like going full, like, dang, like, calm down, do I need to get the fire extinguisher? And so she told me about this immediately. I'm like, oh, who is it? And she's like, well, I don't even remember her name. I know I'm terrible. And we'll just say like Allison or something. I think it did start with an A. And I was like asking my mom to like describe her. And she said, well, it's like one of the girls. And she's like, well, she'll be here if you want to come do some follow-up, you know, work. Like just check on all the computers, make sure none of them are on fire or whatever. Or like do some quick data entry or something, you know. She's like, well, she'll be here on, you know, this day. I'm like, I'm there. So then I walked in and she pointed out, she's like, well, it's her, you know, real subtle, you know. And I was like, oh, okay. Look, just leave a dislike on the damn video right now. She was like 300 pounds. Kind of cute otherwise, really nice, great personality, but that's big. I mean, y'all just saw me, like I'm about 210 right now. Back then I was 6 feet, 155, kind of muscular, just saying. Now, I'm not saying I'm that great, I'll take anybody at that point. But you gotta at least be a little attracted, and I just find that not. I can't change it, look, it's in my brain, okay, just piss off. So I could tell she was nervous as hell around me, and I'm like, I remember being like that. Honestly, probably still was, but when it was very one-sided, I was just there like, you know, perfectly calm, collected, making jokes and being professional. And tried not to flirt to not lead her on, but, well, look, sometimes that's just where I go to if it seems like it's working, okay? Like, I don't know, I can't switch it off. So I just gotta pass along the info to pass along to her that I'm not really looking for a serious relationship right now, and I might be moving in my career and, you know, this, that, and she's like, oh, okay, whatever, you know, but, oh, yeah, I really like him. So moving on to the last relationship I had. There weren't really that many. I mean, like I said, I went to a big school, but all the real attractive, nice, or like cool based girls that weren't like, you know, showy, douchey, popular, or like stuck up popular, they already had boyfriends, and honestly, a lot of them, it was like a high school sweetheart thing. A lot of them actually ended up getting married to them. So, you know, glad it worked out. How great for them. But fast forward to, this had to have been like 5 years ago, and I'm like 35. So like we're fast forwarding a bit. I didn't jump on no online dating or go out to meet anyone anywhere. Oh, there was one, but I'm not even going to talk about it. She kind of liked me. I kind of liked her. All of her friends and my friends thought that we should get together. And then the more I got to know her, the weirder she was. And she was like some paranoid hypochondriac. And yeah, that's all you need to know. Didn't really go anywhere. Didn't go on a date. She was really cute though. We did kind of get along, but she was like kind of bonkers. Very like paranoid, had some issues. And I was just like, I can't do this. We didn't have many common interests. We just had similar personalities, actually, besides, you know, that. So anyway, fast forward off of that one. We're just gonna get in the car and just shift right into forward, hit the parking block, and cruise right past that one. So I met this girl at a concert. So right off the bat, my type. And you might be thinking, oh, like some douchey concert, looks like punk or like metal. No, this was like a pretty normal concert. I don't remember, bluegrass or something. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I just was like talking. I was actually like working security, and she like asked me a question. I was like, oh, so, you know, where are you from? Or like something, you know, I wasn't even trying to strike up a conversation. I guess we were just like, hey. And then eventually, just out of nowhere, I thought we were just talking. She's just friendly and got something to do, you know? It was a lull in the thing. There was nothing to do, and she wasn't there with nobody. So she just drops the, hey, you know, you should give me your phone number. We should, like, hang outside of this concert sometime. And I'm just like, that's what's going on. Okay. Been out of the game for a while there. Did not see that coming. Without even thinking, I was like, yeah. Like, I didn't want to hesitate. I was just like, yeah, let's do it. And then even afterwards, I'm like, yeah, sure. I really should date someone at this point. But the thing is, first of all, no, I shouldn't have. Because financial situation, health problems, that was the reason I didn't actively go out and try to date someone for like 10 years. Because just ongoing horrific health problems, massive financial issues. You know, you had the 2008 collapse, which is right when I was out of school. Then what was it, 2012? There was a bad something. It was just, it went from bad health to bad finances to between jobs. It just horrible. And I think actually this is when I was running my shop, but then at the same time working as the CIO of another company part-time. I was working like 55, 60 hours every week. Still barely making ends meet because of medical expenses and other dumb stuff. And like, you know, had to buy a new car and just like, you know, all this stuff coming up at once. And I'm like, this is the worst possible time to date someone, but you know what? Whatever. She seems pretty base. She was about my age. So you know what, at this point, if somebody wants to hang for a bit, let's just try it. Well, she lived about 50 minutes away. And she was a single mom with 2 kids, which I'm just like, you know, at this point, whatever. And, you know, so I think even the next weekend, she like texted me. I'm like, yeah, I'll go hang. My YouTube channel was blowing up, so I wanted to like do that on top of the 60 hours I was already working. So I just was like every weekend losing money, or I was working another part-time job most weekends, unfortunately. So no money, no time, and terrible situation overall. Let's go get in the car and drive 50 minutes to go hang. Let's just say it fell apart really quick, but man, we got along, dude. So her youngest son was like, I don't know, 4 or 5. He had like some issues, but whatever. But her older son was like 12 or 13, and we would just like hang and talk about video games. Like, I mean, dude, we got along about as good as me and her did. And like on the way to the room, he was like, hey, he's pretty cool. I'm like, dude, it's like been like 2 dates and I already got like the approval from what would be the stepson. That's actually kind of funny. So that just made her like me even more. I absolutely adored her. And let me just say, if either of us had any kind of money or time, and she didn't have to, I believe she eventually moved for work, even way further away. If she lived near me, even just that factor, we probably would be married right now. Like, that's how well we hit it off. She wanted to get away from her ex. We were both broke. We could have combined resources. It would have worked. But after the first date where she came down to me because she borrowed her friend's car because like hers wasn't working, you know, typical poor people problems. I mean, that's my scene. I ain't gonna trip. That's how most of my friends were. You know, we hung out. It was cool. She actually came down with her friend, so it was kind of like a friend date. But like we had been on like solo dates before, so it wasn't like weird. We had a lot of thrift stores in town, so she wanted to hit those up because she did a little resale, which she actually was the one who kind of got me into that. Man, I'm telling you, we would have been the power couple. I'm still sore about it. So, okay, most of these disastrous endings or middles or whatever stories I had were funny. This one's really not. She had a bit of a health problem that took away a little bit of money. Nothing too threatening, but required surgery. So that's just more money that she didn't have and I didn't have. But after the first time where she came down to visit me, she was driving back. There was a ton of fog, and some 16 or 17-year-old jackass ran a light, totally obliterated her van, which she had borrowed from her friend. It was her friend's van, so now she couldn't get to work. So she had to drive down, like, in her parents' car to go, like, look at the damage. She was pissed. She was ready to kill that guy. Good thing there was cops there. And so, like, she called me all crying and said, hey, there's an accident. I hit my head. And I'm like, holy crap. I was just like, tell me where you're at. I'll get there. And she's like, I'm at the intersection of here and here, I guess. I'm like, I almost beat the cops there. I probably almost got a ticket pulling up. But when they heard I was the boyfriend, they're like, okay, whatever. And I had like a flashlight. We're looking at the damage. I'm keeping her friend away from the kid who hit them. Irresponsible, careless, dumbass, rich kid. I mean, he was like, oh, there's fog. A red stop and go light lights up more in the fog. He was just running that light. He didn't seem drunk. He was just probably distracted. Seemed to have a couple gadgets in the front seat. I kind of mentioned that to the cop because I wanted to bury that kid. Like, I was being civil about it. I'm like, okay, mistakes. Okay, she's not that injured. She did go to the hospital. Didn't have a concussion. Just, you know, pretty bruised head from hitting it on the window because it was a hell of an impact out of nowhere. Couldn't brace for it because there was fog. I was not in a good shape mentally on the way there. I was like, this is finally working out. And I'm just like, isn't this how everything in my life goes? Not to be selfish about me, I was more concerned about her, but I'm just like, it's just another thing to come ruin everything. Oh, and the flashlight that we're using to inspect the damage was also a taser, and it's actually kind of hard to arm the taser, but she managed to do it. Flip the thing and the switch to the one on the bottom and then press the red button. Just lit that off in front of about 15 cops. Now, in my state, it was very uncommon to have a concealed carry permit to legally have a taser back then. But I did, and they didn't even ask. They're just like, whatever, y'all been through enough. Man, it just went from bad to worse, and I was worried about her, and like, is she getting back? Is somebody's watching her kids? And just, man. And then after that, like, I had to drive up there because she didn't have a car, and they couldn't really fix it because it was total, but then the insurance money was coming in, and she didn't really have the money for, like, a different car, and it was just this whole thing, you know? So then she ended up getting her car fixed because her friend gave her money or something. Like, it kind of worked out, but it was just, like, that was kind of, like, the thing where I was just like, bro, we've been on, like, 5, 6, 7 dates or whatever. We talk all the time. But the long distance, she just straight up brought it up. She's like, I feel like you've been avoiding me. I'm like, nah, I've just been working. I've been working. Like, I hate to say it, like, I'm focusing more on that than you, but, like, I got bills. I just missed a payment on this, you know? So she's just, like, blunt, like, well, how seriously are you going to take this relationship? Because I feel like you're not. And I'm like, it's just circumstances. Like, I really, really like you. I'm not, you know, I would tell you if I didn't. But just the time, the money, the hours, the fact that we can never see each other, like, it just ain't working. She's like, well, okay. I'm like, well, let me just say, if anything changes, if you get a bunch of money, you get a job, you transfer, if I get a better paying job, or just pay off some debts, whatever, you know, get a good magic set for once and sell that instead of the crap that they were forcing on me to sell at my shop. You know, because I still wanted it to work, and she wanted to move away from her psychotic ex, so I think she had a restraining order against. And to be honest, that kind of drama was a little off-putting as well. Like, I can handle it. I was a very much more, like, aggressive, in-your-face person than even I am now. Back then, like, if somebody's gonna... You know, I'd keep chill until somebody's going to cross the line or do something or threaten somebody I care about. And then, like, if it's my friend's family, my girlfriend, it's on. Then, you know, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Like, I ain't afraid to get in a conflict, get up in somebody's face and do something about it. Like, something drastic about it that wouldn't put me in prison, but would really send a message. And so, like, I wasn't about to say, hey, move into my crappy studio apartment with me and your kids. Like, that wouldn't even work. So it was just like, oh, until something changes. And then we just, I don't know, lost contact really. And then I had heard that she moved really far away for a job transfer because she just needed the money. And she moved closer to her parents so that her parents could watch her youngest one while she was at work. And yeah, that kind of worked out for her. So yeah, now I got a house. I'm not that much more financially stable. I mean, the last, you know, COVID years were pretty bad on my finances, which really brings me back to, you know, hey, I told all these stories. People requested it for some reason. The least you could do is upgrade your wardrobe with some fancy new threads from Into the AM. I feel like the girls would have been all over me, especially at that concert, if I would have showed up in any of those shirts. Because, you know, you can find the perfect shirt for your personality. I'm actually not even kidding. Like, you're out in public, you're at an event, you're at a thing, a con, you know, some similar interest thing. And there's some females in your demographic there, and it's like, hey, that guy's wearing like a steampunk shirt. That guy's wearing like a kind of woodsy shirt. That guy's wearing like a kind of geeky, nerdy space shirt. It's got like wizards and stuff on it. Like, okay, you know, that already tells them, like, that's somebody I could walk up and talk to. And since this channel is 98.2% male, and probably 1.2% like 12-year-olds on their mom's account because they can't create their own. Well, anyway, my advice is walk up and introduce yourself and quit being a sissy about it. I mean, I'm not going to say, oh, that's the guy's job, but like, girls like it if you don't look like a complete coward, to put it bluntly. Hey, if they ain't interested, they ain't interested, but otherwise they'll appreciate it if they're like, oh, he's kind of cool looking and is wearing a similar shirt and is at a similar event doing similar things with similar hobbies as me. Let's chat, you know? So you got to dress for your personality. And I think a lot of you, from what I've heard, the feedback is you guys are super into the styles and stuff on their website, and their Black Friday sale is insane. I think they did some kind of July 4th thing a while ago, and they did like 85% off, and then my code down in the description right there, link or the code or both or whatever, they'll get you another 10% off on top the clearance and the sales price. Like, they're almost paying you to take some of these stuff. They got shirts, they got hoodies, they got hats. I mean, they got everything. They're blowing everything out. So the sale is going on from today, the 18th, until the 25th, of course. I did notice, though, the last time they had a massive sale, a lot of the really cool items and really good deals sold out on the first day. So go check it out if you're interested at all. You can even shop for your friends. A nice, cool t-shirt is a nice, cheap, easy, you know, interesting gift. They're going to think you paid $25 for it. I guarantee you didn't. So check them out. Support the channel. Help pay for my pain. And if this video gets under 5K views, I am going to date your mom. So watch it twice. Thanks for watching, hopefully, and I'll see you guys next time.